Oh well. We have a lot to unpack. Okay, so this is it, huh? Well, how do I get to the horse progress? No? Wait a minute. Why is this still blue? Why is this still the same? They even have the old icon from the old HUD. Is it HUD or is it UI? Or is it interface? UI is user interface though. Whatever you call it. This is the new HUD UI. And you know, it's something. I'm surprised that they even still give us buttons at this point. Okay, so how do I lead my horse? That's all I care about. How do I do that? Is it this? Oh, what? Okay, so that full screen was pretty scary, but I actually kind of like it. I actually kind of like the full screen. I I'm so stupid. I thought the call sign was to call your horse over. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. I guess you can dismount right here. I always press X though. Okay. Nope. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. What is this? Okay, so something just happened. This is petting my horse, even though I'm kind of more or less just petting the air. Okay, I think this is it. I think this is it. Let's do it. Yes. Oh yes, I do enjoy this. This is a nice feat. I'm probably never ever gonna use this, but it's still super cute. I assume I can't lead my horse off a bridge, though. Not that I would ever want to, Winter Dream. Haha. Okay, horse progression, huh? A little underwhelming. Maybe I should, like, try this on a level 1 horse. I only just, and now that I'm realizing it, I only just got this horse to level 14. And it's crazy, because, like, you know, I'm not even in the process of training it. I just, like, I was doing all those open house activities to get all the spring tokens so I can get all the pink clothes. and she just randomly got to level 14. And that is where she will stay. And it was from level 10, by the way, or 11 or something like that. And mind you, I've had this horse for 9 years. Wait. No, only 8. Only 8, yeah. But yeah, let's discuss the new UI. It's... I'm not reporting any bugs just yet, which is good. I'm glad that it's, you know, not buggy. Because that's what I thought people meant when they were saying that it was unfinished. Like, it was so unfinished that it was, like, causing their games problems or something. And I'm sure it will. In the next few days, there will probably be some sort of bug that it causes. But I think I get what they're saying now, because, like, literally, like, whenever I click my menu, it's still blue. It still looks exactly the same as it once did with the old UI, and I hate this. And I'm gonna assume this is the global shop? Yep. This still kind of looks the same, but it's whatever. At least my inventory is different. I like this. I like the inventory. It's a lot bigger, and I can see, as someone with, like, horrible poor eyesight, I can see a lot better, which is nice. And it does match the rest of the UI, but I just hope that's not as far as it goes. Let me check the chat, actually. Whoops. Okay, yeah. I think... Okay, the chat does look nice. These emotes? Oh, that's cool. Alright. So the chat looks different, which is nice. I'm glad that the chat is finished. It's a lot easier to read, I think. I don't know, I have trouble reading in general, so... Oh, this is weird. Is this because of my reshade, or... So, like, when I click this, it disappears. I don't know if that's a glitch or that was intentional design or something, but yeah. I don't have any friends on, as per usual. I'm gonna say chat. Yeah, the chat isn't closed. The chat isn't too bad, I guess. You know, I'm still, if you want my like honest opinion on this new UI, which is probably why you clicked on the video, is that it's just it's a bit too simplistic. It's a bit too minimalistic. Probably is a better word. It just, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't represent Star Stable at all, to be honest. I mean, you could literally copy and paste this UI onto any other game, like, I don't know, Clash of Clans or like CS:GO or something like that. Whatever game you can imagine. Like, I could easily see this UI on like Genshin Impact or something, and it would be fine. It would be literally fine. It would literally match the game so well. But if you try to copy and paste the old UI, like with the blue horseshoe, onto like any other game on the market, it wouldn't make any sense, because like, what is a blue horseshoe doing there? Unless it was a horse game, of course, but of course that would be plagiarism. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like this whole minimalism aesthetic in video games, it's really just killing the spark, like the uniqueness in video games, if that makes sense. I wanted to bring up Overwatch as an example, actually, because I've been playing, I had to scratch my neck for 2 seconds. Are you kidding me? I've been playing Overwatch for about 3 years now, and I started out with Overwatch 1, and I really appreciated the UI in that game, in all honesty. It looked like they put a lot of effort into it and made me immersed in the game, of course, when I first played it. And then, you know, as I kept playing it and playing it and playing it, I just became more enraged, and I didn't even pay attention to the UI. But still, it was so good. Like, as a new player, I really appreciated the UI. It was very different from a lot of other first-person shooter games, you know? And like when you press the teams, the tabs, or like when you press tab and you look at the teams, like your team and the enemy team and stuff, they would have everyone's individual icon kind of like separated from each other, and it would have like the 3D model of the character that they were playing. There was 2 separate types of, like, I don't know, artwork made for characters in Overwatch. It was the 2D concept art that you see on the kill feed and the hero select screen, and then there was the 3D model that you'd see like in the HUD, like in the corner of your screen, or like, you know, to symbolize like what character you're playing. And now when you press tab in Overwatch 2, it just shows like these 2 colored blocks, like, you know, red for the enemy, I guess, and blue for the, you know, your team. They just show those 2 colored blocks with, like, you know, usernames, like, you know, columned usernames, and, you know, just like a square mini icon of the 2D art of the hero that everybody is playing. Like, last year I signed up to be in Overwatch 2 beta, like when they dropped that in like April or May or something, I forget. And, you know, they had that UI, and I was like, oh, well, it's a little like, you know, it made sense for a beta. It looked very unfinished. And then, you know, October 4th or 6th, or I forget when it dropped. I think it was the 4th of last year. You know, October 4th rolls around, and I play Overwatch 2 for the first time, and they still kept that same HUD. Well, yeah, I'm sure with like little tweaks here and there, you know, but it just looks, they really, like, I don't know, they personally, I mean, this is all my opinion, but they kind of just killed the spark that it once had. Because, you know, Overwatch had such a distinct style, like all the fonts that they use, and all of, like, you know, the, I don't know, just the way the game was, like, I don't know, established. It just looked very much like Overwatch, and now it literally, now it just kind of, it still looks a bit unfinished. Another thing to mention with Overwatch, as well, is that, like, they used to have, in Overwatch 1, they had these bronze and gold and silver plates, or like, I don't even know what you call them. It's like a little, like, kind of, I guess, plate that kind of surrounds your specific, like, icon to symbolize like what level you are in the game. And that's another thing, they don't do levels in Overwatch 2 anymore, which is really upsetting, because, you know, even if I lost a game, I could still tell myself, oh, I still have XP, you know, until the next level, and then I'll be able to get like a gold plate, you know, if I play enough games or something. It gave me something to look forward to, even if like I had a rough game and I lost. But now they have Battle Pass XP, which is like, you know, I'm not mad at the Battle Pass in Overwatch at all. That's like a whole separate video, and it's not on topic with Star Stable at all, even though it does give a hint of Star Stable vibes, because, you know, the XP that you get at the end of Overwatch games all counts towards a Battle Pass, which is a paid program that you have to pay for, $10. So, you know, the only joy that you can really get is by spending money in Overwatch. And does that sound familiar? And in Overwatch, they also had the on fire thing. So, like, if you killed enough people, if you eliminated enough of the enemy team, you would get these points that counted towards your fire meter. And of course, like, if you hadn't eliminated anybody in a long time, you know, the meter would go down, of course. But, you know, if you just had these, like, crazy plays where you just, like, popped off or whatever, your fire meter would go up, and I thought that was so cool. And of course, the character you're playing did like a little special voice line where it was like, oh, I'm on fire, or something like that. You know, and I thought that was super cute, but they don't do that anymore in Overwatch 2. But the thing is that when you do eliminate enough people and, you know, get the quote-unquote fire meter up, or if you just eliminate enough people, because there is no fire meter anymore. If you just eliminate enough people, your character will still say, I'm on fire, but there's no fire meter. It makes no sense. It kind of makes no sense. Like, I mean, I guess they're just saying, like, oh, well, you know, if you're popping off, then I guess, you know, your character says, oh, they're on fire or something like that. But there's no meter to symbolize that they are. I don't know. It was just a cute little detail. And, you know, they still kept the voice lines, probably like on accident, and they're just like, I don't know, being lazy or something. It's still unfinished, and it's just, you know, the on fire meter was totally something that like gave the game character, if that makes sense. Something that I noticed with Star Stable UI, or the new UI, is that whenever you call for a pickup, you see this little call for a pickup thing right here. It's literally just a telephone. But the old telephone on the horseshoe meter was like this little, like, it was just like this little phone that you, that actually made many cameos in the CD games, such as I think I only really remember it from Starshine Legacy, but I'm sure it was in Star Academy and Star Stable as well. And also in Star Stable Online, when I distinctly remember when you're saving Linda, when you're like level 10 or something like that, level 9, 8, 10, something like that. When you're trying to save Linda from the castle, you know, she leaves a trail of all of her personal belongings, you know, on the ground. Like her glasses, her books, and like her phone. And then you find her phone, and the phone is the same model as the ones that they use in the horseshoe UI. And I just think that's really cool. That's like, you know, of course reusing material, but still, it still worked. And like, you know, as a kid who didn't have a phone, when I was a kid in real life, I was like, oh, this little purple phone, I want a phone just like this, or something like that, you know? It made me think that I have a phone, and, you know, of course, you know, in my head, I'm like, oh, I have contacts with like Linda and Lisa and Alex and, you know, Justin or whatever. Like, they're in my contacts or something. But this, just to, you know, conclude, you know, this telephone gives me no joy. This little phone right here gives me nothing. I feel nothing. I also want to say, this right here, yeah, you know, this little rider thing right here, you can obviously tell that it's a horse rider. It's a person with a helmet on, horse riding helmet on. You know, it's nice, But the thing is that the old one, the old horse, or your rider icon basically, that was in the style of, you know, Star Stable's old comic book style. And, you know, it was always nice to look at that because it looked, you know, so much like it. And I'm pretty sure the horse still has it. See? The horse still has that kind of like, you know, I'm pretty sure this is a silhouette of Concord or something like that from one of their old comic books. But, you know, it was so unique to Star Stable, you know? Because that's their style. That was their art style. I don't want to even get started on the map, to be honest. It's not appealing. I mean, I miss when it was inside a giant horseshoe. And I'm not gonna lie either. The mail icon, I hate it. And I hate that I'm being so pessimistic about everything. But this is I'm just kind of like providing evidence for my point of, you know, Star Stable is losing their uniqueness. But this mail icon, yeah, I don't like it because, you know, the old UI, you know, whenever you'd get mail and like there would be like a big red flag that would stick out, and it had the icon of the old post office, or like, you know, those little red boxes that, you know, red mailboxes. And this was before, you know, you could just literally click on it and you can open your mail. I mean, you know, something that was super realistic back in the day that I probably should have added to my first documentary is that, you know, whenever you'd get mail, you'd actually have to run to a mailbox. And mailboxes would usually be at stables and villages and stuff like that. But, you know, I can remember just the anticipation that I had, you know. So I would get that, I would get that notification, or not, it wasn't really a notification, but I'd get that red flag pop up just out of nowhere, and I'd be like, oh my god, who's it from? And so if I was in the middle of like a wild horse roleplay or something and I saw that, I'd literally have to like run to the nearest stable and check, you know, and I couldn't just like click on it and, you know, and have the mail open. I mean, that just really kind of destroys immersion for me, if that makes sense. And also, at the end of championships, when, like, you know, you get your prize in the mailbox. Nowadays, I rarely compete in championships. But nowadays, people literally just stand there at the championships. Like, when after they're finished, they just click on their mailbox and they're like, okay, I received my Jorvik shillings or my ribbon or whatever. But back in the day, you know, whenever we would complete a championship, everyone, like, immediately after the championship, everyone would run to the nearest stable. I'm thinking of Valedale in my head right now because, you know, when I'd finished that championship, I'd immediately, you know, go right past the finish line, and I would jump on the stable that had all the horses, all the horses you could buy in it at the time. The little, like, you know, shelter that they have for all the horses that can be sold. I would jump on that and then jump down and then run past the bridge in Valedale, the Silversong River Bridge, and then I would go to the stables, and, you know, everyone would be piled there, checking their mail for their reward. A little tangent I went on there, but, you know, it's just but the old mail icon was really, I don't know if I mentioned this, but it resembles the post office in Silverglade Village. And that post office has always been really interesting to me because, you know, not only in the old Valentine's Day quest where you had to send out everybody's Valentine's Day letter, but also, you know, Derek from, you know, Derek the postman. He also wore the red uniform because he works there. He is a postman. And, you know, it had those, I think there was a horn on it or something like that. It was like red with like a little horn on it or something. But yeah, Derek is just a really iconic character because not only is he, or was he, everyone's childhood crush, but also he was in the Starshine Legacy 3, I believe. But yeah, it just really connected me to, you know, Star Stable. You know, anyone can have this little envelope icon right here. Any game could have that. But Star Stable with their little red icon back in the day, that was unique to Star Stable, you know? I don't know, the screen just feels a bit more it just feels it feels a bit empty now, you know? Because like my XP is up here now. My XP is right, and I I don't know. I don't get excited looking at my XP like this. It reminds me of like my horse XP. And tell me, I mean, like, I'm sure there'll be different answers for this, but are you more excited to see, or were you more excited to see your XP almost at the end of your screen, like right here? Or were you more excited to see your horse's XP right here? They're both pretty exciting. Advancing a level is always exciting no matter what the level's for. But I don't know. I just like I don't know. I miss colors too. I really just miss how colorful Star Stable used to be. You know, whether it be just in the environment and now the UI, because the opacity on all these buttons is it's see-through and it's not even a color. You know, I like the purple that's going on here. That's different, but that's about it. That is about it. Everything is either black or dark blue. I'm sorry if today's reaction has been a bit like underwhelming or anything like that. I mean, like, you know, I went on a few tangents about like different games and this and that, but I'm just, if my reaction's a bit underwhelming, it's just because, you know, I've seen Star Stable literally just rip and pick and gnaw their way into just destroy or, you know, taking out every element that made this game, you know, unique to me and special to me. You know, whether it be with like removing old horses or, you know, changing the character animations. You know, everything has been changed. And like, you know, this is just no longer like, you know, the game that I grew up with. It's unrecognizable now. I mean, the UI is unrecognizable, and nearly every aspect about it. I'm really, really afraid for the character update. You know, I'm always open to change, of course. I'm always open to change, but it's just like, I don't know. And when it comes to this UI, I don't know what their goal was. Was it just to actually make the game look more minimalistic and just give us like 3 buttons for this and that? Or was it, you know, to actually bridge the gap between PC and mobile? And I don't really care about, like, you know, mobile in, you know, how they're trying to appeal to kids that don't have computers and are mostly just on iPads and phones. I don't really care about all that, to be honest. I do like the cursor, though, to be honest. I mean, it looks like something that you'd see in, like an insignia that you'd see in, like, Skyrim or something. But, I think I've said mostly everything I've wanted to say. When it comes to this UI, I think it still is kind of unfinished, to be honest. And, you know, I'm not hopeful that it's going to be finished because, you know, at face value, yeah, the UI has been changed and everything looks different now. But when you actually like click on things like, I don't know, the notifications or something, when you actually look at that, it still looks the exact same. And we've seen what Star Stable has done with like these changes and stuff. Like, you know, you remember when they changed the clothing icons of the clothes and tack. You remember when they changed that, right? And they made it look like a 3D model of what the clothing actually is, and not just like a duplicated, you know, what do you call it, icon of, you know, the same gray. You actually had to like hover over it to see what sweater this is, you know, instead of just looking at it at face value. They did that, but the thing is that I'll click on my character right now, and the icons are still there. The icons are still there, you know, it's still gray right here. And I'm pretty sure let me just get someone to, oh, oops, okay. Okay, congratulations, Christine. Yeah, like, I don't know what they're wearing. I don't know what they're wearing at all. I mean, like, of course there's a description, but like, I don't know what it looks like. Because it's still gray, you know? And it's been about 4 years. It's been about 4 years since they've implemented that change, and it was a life-changing change, and I'm really proud of them for implementing that, even though it does get buggy sometimes. It looks great, but it still hasn't really been finished all the way. And that's how I feel about, like, you know, when I click notifications, or I click, you know, not that, when I click this, or, you know, my character, or, you know, the inventory's been done, which is great. It looks great. It's really big. I can see it now. I can see it easier. Oh yeah, if I click settings, it's still blue like it used to be, you know? And same with my quest log. It still looks the exact same. You know, I don't want to be nitpicky or anything, but, you know, it just really feels like it's an unfinished product, you know? And it's the same way I felt about Overwatch 2 and their UI and stuff. It feels like I'm in a beta, you know? And that's not good. Because if I were to sign up for a Star Stable beta, they would reject me. But that's for another video. But yeah, I've said just about all I want to say in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my first ever reaction video. Hopefully I can get this one uploaded, because usually when I do a reaction video, I usually just like throw it in the gutter. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!